Hello, and welcome to Surviving the Narcissist. This is Wanda. On this channel, we look at narcissism from a I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor, thriver, overcomer. Professional, I'm a certified life coach, and I work with people that have been impacted by narcissistic abuse trauma. Narcissistic abuse is trauma and addiction. And during this episode, I'm going to start looking at how Diddy's trial is connected to narcissistic abuse. Everybody's aware that he's on trial. It started with Cassie and when the video came out. So that was over a year ago or a year ago, and now we're finally at the trial. So, narcissism is a psychological, psychiatric personality disorder. So I'm not a psychiatrist. So I don't diagnose people as narcissists. I look at their behavior because the purpose of this channel is to help people who were targets or victims of narcissistic abuse to be aware so they can set boundaries and they can get free and that they can recover and be who God was meant God meant them to be. So when I discuss the things about Diddy, I'm discussing it from his behavior, not diagnosing him as a narcissist. But all of Diddy's behavior is consistent with people who are narcissists. From because one of the reasons why he is where he is because he didn't settle with Cassie. So narcissists are never wrong. Everything's a competition. So instead of just settling, he was competing against how much money he didn't want to give her that much money. But he's going to end up paying a bigger cost, or he is paying a bigger cost because everything about his personal life is coming out. You know, his mother and kids, everybody knows the baby oil and things of this nature. And plus, they're predicting that this is going to be uh, a 2 or 3 month trial to July. And so that's classic narcissistic behavior. They're never wrong. When you confront them, oh well, I shouldn't have to pay you because you did it. You know, that kind of thing. So his behavior is consistent. And then when the video came out, he settled because everybody was saying, well, that's the fastest settlement I've ever seen. One day he finds out that she's actually going to go ahead and do the lawsuit. He refused to settle. I mean, and of course, everybody knows it's a process to get to a dollar amount to settle. So this had been going on for a long time. But as soon as the mask was exposed, his image, oh, wait a minute, she's filing a lawsuit. Everybody's going to know. He settled in one day, and here comes the tape. Then the tape comes out. Now, we can see, everybody saw the tape. We're not blind. We're not brainwashed. He comes and apologizes. That's classic narcissistic behavior. What are you apologizing for? Not when I say for, I'm saying I know he was attempting to apologize for his behavior, but he was only apologizing because the tape came out and his mask was cracked and his image was gone. He saw his money going down the drain. Everybody knows that I'm this monster or I act like a monster. And so I'm going to talk about what I really found very interesting that is helpful is that the judge told Diddy to stop nodding his head. And the reason why the judge told him that is because the judge realized that that was nonverbal manipulation. Narcissists are master manipulators. It is many tools, as many techniques. Just like all people aren't alike, all narcissists are not alike. They're on a continuum. But because their goal is power or to win, whatever they can use, they will use. And Diddy was using manipulative techniques against the juror. And I was so glad that this judge is knowledgeable and told him to stop it, or he was going to put him out the court. So when we look at nonverbal manipulation, what Diddy was doing was he was head nodding, like see right, right, right. It could have been anything, but what he was doing is he was communicating with the jury non-verbally while people were testifying. So, and then you just saw me do like when I do things like that. Well, when you do things like that, that's communicating things. Like, I can't believe that. That's what this is saying. Well, when he does things like that, like they say he frowns, he stares. Well, that's another form of nonverbal manipulation because when you stare at people, you don't know people's level of fear. Like I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor. So if you stare at me, I'm gonna stare back, or I'm gonna be like, "Well, what are you looking at?" I mean, so what? But I'm just saying, some people, when you stare them down, you're actually putting fear in them and intimidating them. And after they've heard all this testimony about the guns, the bullets, uh, dangling people over the balcony, he might be scaring some of the jurors. And they're like, "Well, wait a minute." So then another thing that they say he does a lot is that he's always writing. So when you're writing, you don't know what moments in the during the testimony that he's writing. But if he's writing, the jury is noticing that he's writing, and that's a distraction. Distraction is a technique that narcissists use to manipulate us. Because I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor. And that's why I give you this information. Because if you know that a person is doing that to distract you, one of your boundaries is I'm not going to be distracted. I told you like some of the technical terms are like, gray rocking and other things. But just like I said, well, so what? Like so what? Or stir back if you're strong enough to do that, or look at the wall or something. But see, everybody in that jury panel or part of the jury is not doing that. They're paying attention. Oh, wait a minute. Why is he writing? If he's writing something, maybe what she's saying is not true. Or just like I have even heard um, people that's commentating that's physically there. And they say like when a witness says something that he doesn't agree with, he'll start scribbling to his lawyers. So when he's writing notes to his lawyers are asking questions based on uh, what he's writing to them. Because he's paying a lot of money for these lawyers. He has the best lawyers that's out there. And lawyers get paid based on winning and getting the client that pays them what they want. So some of his lawyers probably know that he's manipulating them, but it's like, I'm getting paid to manipulate. I mean, I'm getting paid to win this case. We don't know what's going to happen. It's just like all these witnesses that come on. And they say, well, what do you think about Diddy, or why did you do it? Well, he was paying me $100,000 a year. Well, you're paying $100,000 a year to an assistant. Well, what is an assistant? Like, were these most personal assistants personally assist the people? You don't have people coming on there saying, I was the chief financial officer. I was the one that was helping him, um, his real estate agent. Because we know that when they raided his property last year, They raided his property in Miami. He has property in Florida that we know of. He has properties other places, but they raided, or I assume he does. He's a multimillionaire. Why would he just have one place in New York, one place in uh, uh, Florida, and one place in California? Because it did come out in the trial. He has other places in California because one of the witnesses that testified using the name Jane lives in his property. He's paying her $10,000 a month rent. So that is showing you the strings or how people manipulate because they find our weaknesses and they use it against us. So if they know that, like some of his assistants, he might have asked them during the interview, and I'm giving examples. This didn't come out in the trial. But what they do is that's why you have to be careful with information. And one of your boundaries has to be you don't give information that they can use against you or they can use to your advantage. So that's why one of the techniques is no contact. But like I have said in some of my earlier videos, I don't go no contact. I go limited contact. So when I had to have contact with people that have appear to have narcissistic behaviors, I kind of have like a script. I know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about I'm attending graduation ceremony. So my purpose of the contact is to talk about the graduation ceremony. Do you have any ideas what they want for a graduation present? And are we going somewhere after the graduation? Well, because my family is full of people that have narcissistic behavior, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to go to the graduation celebration because by the fact that these are people that's close to you and you've known them for a long period of time, they know how to manipulate you. Whereas when you're at the graduation ceremony, you can't talk that much. You can't talk that much. So you won't start giving out too much information. Then you take your picture at the school, at the facility. I gotta go. You never give them a reason why you don't want to go to the graduation ceremony, but you know why you don't want to go. So you congratulated the graduate, you took your pictures, you saw them graduate, then you leave. So you have to have clear boundaries. Another thing is, so all of this is creating doubt, which he is maintaining power. Excuse me. Well, all these behaviors are used to maintain power. And we see that he is maintaining power. So just like I discussed how you have to have personal boundaries and the juror needs to have boundaries. Well, okay, I'm gonna look at the direction because of course you want the jurors paying attention. Well, I'm gonna look in the direction of where Diddy and his legal team are sitting, but I'm gonna pick an object that is not Diddy's face or Diddy personally because he's using nonverbal manipulation techniques. So some of these techniques can be sort of the same thing that you use, just like if I'm nervous when I'm doing a YouTube video. So I try not to stare directly into the camera, even though I know I need to make eye contact. But sometimes I might look away. And when I look away, I have something on my wall that says, "You got this, you can do it." Right. So those are some of the things that they need to do and not look at him directly. Well, they already were doing it, but a good boundary, which I really applaud this judge, is that the judge set a boundary for them by saying, if you don't stop, I'm going to put you out the courtroom. And that is a very powerful a strong boundary because, like I said earlier, they're predicting that the trial is going to go on. Nobody knows another month. So he definitely wants to be in that courtroom. And then if he gets put out the courtroom, that's going to definitely have a negative impact because some people are going to pick up he was manipulating the juror. Well, other people aren't going to pick it up because they're not narcissistic abuse survivors. Anybody that's a narcissistic abuse survivor and been in a relationship with a narcissist, we were manipulated. And then once we get help or we start our healing journey, then we don't want to beat ourselves up or kind of stay stuck in the past because the past is past. And when you know better, you do better. So if you didn't know, you didn't know. But now you set boundaries up. Well, no, you're not going to be manipulating me. You're not going to use graduations, baby showers, Father's Day, Mother's Day to manipulate me. Happy Mother's Day. Here's your present. Happy graduation if you want to give a present. If you don't want to give a present, you don't. But I'm just saying is you're taking your power back because your boundary is I'm engaging for a positive purpose, not to for the narcissist to gather information to use against you. And so before I go, I just want to say, please like and subscribe and share this video to anybody that you know is dealing with narcissistic abuse. And also, please visit the website www.visionofrecovery.com. I am a certified life coach. I also have a master's degree. So the information that I'm giving you is lived experience and professionally sound. I don't get things off of other people's video. When I say other people's video, you know, um, life coaching is a broad field, a very large field. And some people look at other people's videos and they just mirror what they do. We talked about mirroring, and they mirror what other people do, and they never have been in relationships with narcissists. They don't have coaching techniques. Um, some of the things that they say is uh, sounds untrue. I try not to judge other people, but I'm just saying you want to when you look for somebody that you hire to help you one-on-one in life coaching, you want somebody that has experience and they're certified. And so until the next time, I'm gonna do videos. I don't really like to talk about a lot of celebrities because I don't want to make a celebrity an idol, and I don't want to, just I can't even really listen to a lot of the things that's going on with the Diddy trial because I went through sexual trauma, I went through manipulation, I had people to try to use money to manipulate me, so it's really almost like a trigger. But I do listen to maybe the little 30 minutes that people do where they do a recap. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Certain things that really stick out during the trial and how it connects to narcissistic abuse and how if you're in that kind of relationship with a person that has those type of behaviors, it can help you get free. That is the purpose of this channel. And until next time, know that you don't have to stay stuck in abusive relationships. You can move from being a survivor to a thriver and eventually an overcomer. Until next time, be blessed.